Hi people, hello internet, what's up YouTube? So I'm coming to you live from Namibia. Namibia is actually one of my favorite countries, guys. Namibia is the best. You should come and see it for yourself. So if you want to come and live in Namibia, you must have like a permit. That is a business permit if you want to do business, and a study permit if you want to study here, and a work permit if you want to work here. And I think if you're a tourist visiting, there are also like kinds of paperwork that you need to do for you to be able to stay here. So just to give you context, because today I want to talk about a situation where my application for a permit was rejected here in Namibia, in this country, right? I know people always talk about Pan-Africanism, why borders should be banned and all those things. But the reality, guys, is the borders still exist and you need papers to stay in people's countries. So, guys, let's just be legal citizens, right? Yeah, I think I just have to put that out and make it clear. So, this is what happened. This is how I got rejected when I applied for a permit here. The first time I came to Namibia, it was like in 2016. I think it was around May, and they gave me 90 days to stay in the country because I was visiting. And then during those 90 days, I applied at the University of Namibia, and then I left and went back to Zimbabwe before my days were over. Right. So when I was in Zimbabwe, I received an email saying that I got accepted at the University of Namibia. So I had to come back and start with the registration process. So after the registration process, whatever, I applied to study, I mean, I applied for the permit, So here in Namibia, I don't know if they're still doing that, because that was like in 2017, and I last applied for a permit here, I think it was like in 2021. Then I left, then I'm back again now, so hopefully I'll be doing the whole process again. So at that time I applied through the university. The university will help you with the process, so you just have to give them your papers. They will come to the school, and then you just submit the papers there, and then they'll take you to Home Affairs, and then they'll just coordinate everything. But if you do these things like on your own, sometimes it's kind of complicated. So the easier way to do it is you just have to go through the school, right? If you're applying for a study permit, if you're applying for a work permit, then you have to go through the company or the organization that is going to employ you, right? So after my studies, because during that time we used to apply a permit per year. Right now, I think they are now like allowing you like to apply for the number of years that you'll be studying here. So after I completed my studies, I was not sure on like what am I going to do now? Am I going to leave Namibia and so forth? You remember, I was now used to this place. I was living here at that time. I think it was like 4 years staying in Namibia. So now just living like that, it was like, okay, I wasn't prepared for that, right? And the reality was I had to leave, right? So whilst I was still like figuring things out, I was like, you know what, let me go and apply for another program again, and then I'll figure out the plan later whilst I'm already studying. If I get a job, then probably I'll then maybe put my studies on hold, or maybe do them part-time. So I went and applied for a program at another institution called International University of Management. Once I submitted my applications, I waited, and then I got feedback. I did the registration process. I went with the papers to Home Affairs. Now, I went to Home Affairs on my own, right? I didn't go through the school. I just went direct to the Home Affairs because I was staying in a different town. So I had to submit on my own, and then those papers were sent to the capital city. So yeah, I waited for feedback for some time, and then I couldn't get any response, right? I just have this letter which like confirms that I've submitted for a study permit, I've submitted my applications, but then the permit itself, like, it was not yet out, and I could not get like feedback on time. So I went there and I asked for feedback. Then they said it's not yet processed, blah blah blah. I went back again to check. Now this period my permit has expired. I'm now pushing so that things will work out, I get papers on time. So I went there again to their offices and asked like what's gonna happen, because now I don't have days anymore, because remember the permit I was on had like expired. I was studying in a different school. Now I want a new one. So I went there. Then they said we have rejected your permit application. So as someone who knew the way like to apply all the papers, I know, so I put all the papers there. So I was wondering why they rejected my application. So the reason was it was not convincing enough to say that I've just completed my studies here. Now I have to, what do you call this? Now you want to study another program. So I'm like, okay, what if that's what I want? If I want to do another program, how is that a problem? But that was the reason, and they rejected my application like that. Now, my problem was there, right? Because if you are going to reject me, I'm doing this to apply, I want to start. This is like a genuine reason, right? I don't have any other motive. So I was like, okay, no problem. So they gave me 7 days to leave the country. So at that time I left. Then everything was cool, no problem. They just gave me, what do you call this, a letter to say that this guy, he applied for a permit, we rejected for these reasons, and now he has to leave the country within 7 days. So usually they will give you 7 days to leave the country. So guys, if you're going to apply for a permit in Namibia, right, make sure you're applying at a reputable institution. Let's say you want to study. There are like 3 schools here in Namibia that are reputable. I would say there's the University of Namibia, there's Namibia University of Science and Technology, there is International University of Management. So you have to allow these institutions to help you in the application process. It will be easier. I think in my case, one of the problems was I did it like on my own. And then number 2, your reason must be convincing. Apparently my reason was not convincing, considering that I just finished like a degree program at the University of Namibia. Now I want to do another program. For them, it was not convincing, right? So they rejected my permit. If you want to work, I've seen that here in Namibia, it's kind of difficult to get a permit, like a working permit, because they prioritize their citizens mostly when it comes to employment and stuff. So for you to be able to get a job and get a permit, it means you must be really, really good in what you do, and you must have, let's say, like unique skills, and then you'll be worth hiring. Then they can justify that we want this guy because he has these skills and so forth. And then in that case, the process of getting a permit might be a bit easier, because for you to get a permit here, I feel like it's really tough. But for a study permit, as long as everything is in order, no problem. And then business, I'm not really sure, but I'm sure if you want to do business, that one it will be easier, because I'm sure a country would want people to invest in their country and stuff like that. So that's how my application for a permit got rejected. Now it's not something that happened now. I'm sure you can tell it's not recent. It happened a long time ago. So I left. I complied. I left. So the good thing about Namibia, if you comply with the authorities, then it's not a problem. But if you stay here without papers, sometimes it's really tough. You wouldn't like it. So just make sure that you have proper documentation if you're going to stay in this country. But if you have your papers, Namibia is one of the sweetest country, I mean, on the continent. The immigration are also super nice. Considering my case, I was really worried. I'm like, okay, now what's gonna happen? But you know, they helped me through the process, even though I was mad at them that they rejected my application, and I had a genuine reason, and I had already paid the school, application fee, and you have already paid registration fee, only them to reject the permit. It was really not cool. And they could have even gone to the school, because I was going there to check how they can help me, but like the school were directing me to because the campus where I was, it was like in a different town, so I had to go like to the capital city. So the whole process was just complicated, so they rejected my permit. Now when we talk about that idea of Pan-Africanism and Africa coming together and making sure that African brothers, they come together, they don't need papers whatever to stay in each other's countries, and we have to do away with borders. The ideology is nice, and we hope that works out, because if someone is trying to come or go to a certain country and they're actually trying to acquire proper documentation for them to stay in that country legally, try by all means to help them and make sure that they won't try to find other means, to stay illegally in that country, because they would have exhausted all options of being there legally. For me, it was not just a matter of getting a permit then do whatever I want. No, I was actually going there to study. It was just a moment whereby I'm studying a program, and now I'm sure, okay, I need to figure out what I'm going to do next after I complete this program. So guys, yeah, that's it. If you want to come to Namibia, you have to apply for a permit. So far I've been posting some videos showing you guys Namibia, and I hope you are enjoying the videos. If there's anything that you want to know about Namibia specifically, you can let me know. And right now I'm here legally, right? Yes, we have to respect other people's countries. Now there's a video I posted before and people were complaining. Let me just address this. Hopefully people will watch this video. I was talking about, like, I love how Namibia is like, a free country. They don't really harass you and stuff like that. When you walk around in the streets, we just look alike, and we are just brothers. I've never experienced Namibian police harassing me or immigration harassing me or anything of that sort. So people maybe understood it as if I'm saying you can do whatever you want in Namibia, right? That's not the case. I was just saying, like, they are a bit friendly, but don't mess with them. As long as you're on the good side, then there's no problem. If you have your papers, there's no that thing of harassing you and all those things. For example, I'll give you an example. In the US, we often see stories about black people having problems with the police, even if they have proper documentation, but the police are just on their case. Hey, let me see this and that, right? So that was the case I was trying to say here. Yes, there are some citizens here from other nations who have proper papers. They don't deserve to be harassed each and every single day to say, hey, let's see this and that, let's this and that. All right, that's what I was trying to say. This one I said, oh, Namibia is kind of free like that.